Welcome back into the Killer Potential series. Today we're going to talk about why Vecna should be a killer in Dead by Daylight. We've got 28 killers working alongside the entity. Some use a ranged ability like the Pig, others use anti-loot mechanics like the Clown and Dredge. How would Vecna play in Dead by Daylight? Would he have portals to travel through the Upside Down like the Demogorgon? Could he curse his victims like Sadako? Would he have a tentacle ability like Nemesis? There's really a lot of possibilities on how exactly Vecna would play if he were to ever set foot in the entity's realm. If Vecna were to come into Dead by Daylight, which characters would make the most sense to come in as survivors? What map would make the most sense? Is Vecna iconic enough to bring into Behavior's Museum of Horror? If we're talking about horror killers in general, Vecna is one of the most iconic new horror killers in cinema right now. A lot of horror movies today are reboots and requels of giant horror franchises from the 80s and 90s. But Vecna is something new, even if Vecna is derived from other classic horror monsters. There's a lot of reasons why people think that Vecna wouldn't make sense as a killer in Dead by Daylight. We'll address these arguments, and from there we'll discuss the potential of a Stranger Things Part 2 chapter and DVD. This is an official spoiler warning. We're going to be talking about content from Stranger Things Season 4 Volumes 1 and 2. So if you don't want anything from Volume 1 or 2 spoiled, you shouldn't watch this video. Quick reminder, if you like this video, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. I'm also streaming Dead by Daylight on Twitch right now. The link is in the description below. We've done a few other killer potential videos like this one too. The full playlist is linked above. In order to justify Vecna as a different killer and not a legendary skin for the Demogorgon, his power would have to be specialized in his own unique abilities and strengths. And I think Vecna is a bit more of a unique killer from the Demogorgon. The only other licensed legendary killer skin in DBD is Chatterer for Pinhead, but these characters are both Cenobites and therefore have the same physical powers. Vecna is very different from the Demogorgon. In order to understand and speculate how Vecna would function in Dead by Daylight, we have to understand exactly how Vecna hunts and kills his victims. Over the course of the 9 episodes of Stranger Things Season 4, we slowly learn more about Vecna's powers, abilities, and backstory. At first, it seems entirely plausible that Vecna could be a monster of some sort, similar to the Demogorgon. However, as time goes on, Vecna seems more similar to the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers or Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street. We learn that Vecna was a person with supernatural powers who was thrown into the Upside Down by Eleven. You could even bring in Henry Creel as a legendary skin for Vecna. The point is, Vecna is more comparable to a killer with supernatural powers like Jason Voorhees than to a monster killer like Alien or Predator. Vecna is able to curse his victims and hunt them through portals connecting the natural world to the Upside Down. He feasts on fear and depression, and is able to see into the minds of others and search their memories as a means to obtain personal and private information that he might use later to terrorize his victims. He has the ability to develop a deep and powerful psychic connection with his victims. Keeping these things in mind, here's what Vecna's power could be. At the beginning of the trial, Vecna starts with a single portal that can be placed but cannot be activated. His movement speed is 4.6 meters per second and his tear radius is 32 meters. As soon as survivors spawn in the trial, Vecna places a curse, which is shown in the survivor HUD, similar to Freddy Krueger's Dream State timer. After 60 seconds, all survivors hear a grandfather clock chime and transition to an alternate dimension of the same map or the Upside Down, which pretty much just gives the maps a red sort of tint, kind of like the Garden of Joy, and has things floating around in the air. It's similar to the transition that survivors experience with Freddy Krueger's Dream State. Once in the Upside Down, Vecna can activate a new ability called Nest. Vecna can create a nest anywhere on the map and instantly teleport to a portal placed at the beginning of the game. So Vecna has to place that first portal before nesting. When Vecna nests, a nested version of his body remains motionless inside of the vines while Vecna hunts the survivors in the Upside Down. Vecna has 3 abilities once nested. The first ability is portals. Vecna can place 3 more portals which cannot be destroyed by survivors, and can freely teleport between the 4 portals placed. The second ability is tentacles. Vecna can place tentacles across the Upside Down, similar to Pyramid Head's trenches. If a survivor runs over the tentacles, they scream and Vecna gets notified of where they are. The tentacles also try to attack and grab survivors, kinda like Pinhead's chain hunt. The third ability is agility. Vecna has increased movement speed while hunting survivors in the Upside Down, and has the ability to control and manipulate solid matter with his mind. He can break pallets and breakable walls from a short distance away, although he is locked in animation when doing so. Remember, Vecna is only able to perform these abilities while nested. In order to take away Vecna's powers in the Upside Down, survivors must destroy Vecna's nest. Every time Vecna puts a survivor into the dying state, the aura of the nest is revealed to all survivors in pink. There's also a soft grandfather clock chime radiating from the nest, so if survivors listen carefully, they can hear the nest nearby. In the Upside Down, Molotovs spawn on the map and their auras are seen in white, similar to the plague fountains or pig boxes that survivors can see. To exit all survivors from the Upside Down, one survivor must collect a Molotov and throw it at Vecna's nest. This causes Vecna to respawn where the nest was created and cancels all of Vecna's nested abilities. Vecna's Mori could be the kill move we see 5 times throughout the show. Do you think this Mori is too similar to Sadako's Mori? The bones breaking is certainly similar, but we've never seen a killer Mori levitate a survivor 50 feet into the sky. An artist on Twitter even did an online render of Vecna's Mori. Big shout out to Lunagoat from Twitter for this render. Are there any other Mori animations that would make more sense than this one? For Nemesis's Mori, Behaviour didn't even use a rocket launcher even though it's an iconic piece of the character. They went with something simpler. Do you think Behaviour would have any other Mori for Vecna other than this one? If Vecna were to set foot in Dead by Daylight, which survivor survivors would come alongside him. I feel the characters that would make the most sense are Eddie Munson and Robin Buckley, with a Jim Hopper legendary skin coming in for Eddie and a Joyce Byers legendary skin coming in for Robin. These are the most hyped characters from Stranger Things, and I feel Robin, Eddie, and Jim would be the most well received. Would Behaviour even consider bringing in the younger characters from Stranger Things? They don't like bringing in kids, though Dead by Daylight seems to have brought in underage characters before. Laurie Strode, Steve Harrington, and Nancy Wheeler, for example, were all high school students, and this was the version of the characters that we see in DBD. It's unclear if time has passed since their characters were taken by the entity. Yoichi from the Sadako Rising chapter is kind of a special case too. Yoichi is only seen as a young boy in the Ringu series, but Behaviour got permission from the license holders to transform Yoichi into an adult.
Yoichi is a kid in Ringu, so that's how we know him in both of the movies. He is a kid. He is affected by Sadako's power. He will lose his parents to Sadako, and he is actually the only survivor of the whole franchise. And for us, it was a tremendous honor and privilege to be able to take that character and continue his story in Dead by Daylight, something that, you know, the fans of Ringu were requesting or asking, what happened with Yoichi after the events of Ringu? And so we created an adult version, he's now mature, he's now an adult version of Yoichi, and we could expand on all of his story from the kid version of the movie up until now.
So do we think the Duffer Brothers would allow Behaviour to transform Dustin, Mike, Will, Lucas, Max, or Eleven to older versions of their characters? Joe Curie is actually 30 years old right now, and they brought in his high school character Steve Harrington. So does Behaviour bring in adults only based on their character age or actor age? I'm not really sure, but most of the actors and actresses in Stranger Things portraying high school characters are already adults. Would Eleven make sense in DBD? She's probably one of the biggest characters on the show, but it'd be kind of strange to see her come into Dead by Daylight with no powers. Do you think a powerless version of Eleven from season 4 could work in DBD? Let me know in the comments below. Also, which map would make the most sense in a Stranger Things Part 2 chapter? Behaviour could bring in the Rainbow Room where Papa trained Eleven. They could even use the mall from the ending to season 3. However, I think Victor Creel's house would make the most sense, even if it looks similar to the Garden of Joy main building. I can imagine 7 generators scattered across the grounds with vaults in and out of the main building with pallet loops too. The house could be tinted blue just as it is in the show. This is where a large portion of the season 4 climax takes place, and they could have Easter eggs such as the flower door and the grandfather clock present. Behaviour could also have a special version of this map if Vecna plays on it. The upside down version of the map with Vecna's power could take survivors to the same upside down version of Victor Creel's house that we see in the show, with Easter eggs such as the bodies of Vecna's victims. Heck, they could even make it that the golden toolbox is only found in this version of the map. This map in general could also contain Easter eggs for season 5 of Stranger Things. Behaviour was introduced to spoilers for the upcoming season when Stranger Things was initially released in DBD. So for our Stranger Things Part 2 chapter, we have Vecna with the nesting ability survivors can counter with Molotovs, Eddie Munson and Robin Buckley as survivors with Jim Hopper and Joyce Byers as legendary skins, and Victor Creel's house as the new map. Do you think these are the best choices for more Stranger Things content in DBD? Let me know in the comments below. Also, again, I'm live on Twitch right now streaming Dead by Daylight. The link for that is in the description below. Also, check out our other killer potential videos if you enjoyed this one, and let me know if there's any other killer potential videos you'd like to see. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.